Hey Deb, thank you for coming in today. I'm going to talk kind of fast here because this is going to be a lot all at once, but feel free to just kind of jot down as you go. You might need to make this game plan, you might need to write this down, kind of how it works for you. So I want to go over the workout. We're going to go over, the leg options, the upper body options, the core options. Again, very similar to what you already laid out that you're doing. I just might have a few tweaks here and there based on your injury history. But what I want to go over first are some of these moves that we saw today that are going to directly address those injuries, right? The neck and the low back primarily. So I'm going to go over these first. These can be done during the workout. These can be done before, after, on your off days. Honestly, right now, I'd love to see you address these almost daily because they're directly related to those injuries. So first one we did was that for that tight neck, we did the armpit stretch. That's where you turn your head about a 45, you tuck your chin, you give that guy a good pull, and then the bone, a lot of people will just do this, and they'll hang out, and it's a great stretch. But I think the bonus for you, again, because we're trying to separate your neck from that right shoulder, always doing that overhead work, you get that stretch, and then from here you stretch, or you reach behind the back, you reach across, so you can't go wrong adding range of motion to that right arm while this neck is also getting stretched. You could do the opposite. You could hold on to something way back here, like in the doorway, and then add that stretch as well. But we're just trying to separate these two things because otherwise your ear and your ear and your shoulder are best friends, and we can't have that going on too much longer. So love that one just whenever you get a chance to do it. We talked about the low back strength. This was a good one where we get a wide stance, we hold a weight, kind of chest high, and then this was getting a good back stretch, and then we get some back strength on the way out. This has become one of my favorite moves. It's a low level move, it's a good starter move. You can make it harder by holding more weight, and then eventually you can make it harder by doing it standing. But right now, just good back stretch and strength. It's gonna it preps your back for harder work. It preps your back for landscaping and lifting heavy things and being in tough angles. So love this one. You can easily add this to your routine on, in between shoulder presses and triceps or anything like that. Speaking of holding weight, also like back to the neck where we hold weight, this keeps your shoulders down, keeps you from shrugging and doing all this, keeps you down. And then from here you can work on your neck mobility. You can do circles, you can go side to side. It's just a great way, again, separating the shoulders and the neck. So your call on that one. I like that one, just kind of walk. I might do a couple laps around the house holding that and just kind of keep everything loose that way. For the hip stretch, the piriform, we really found that left piriformis was probably tighter than the rest. So my favorite for you on that one was, again, if you have your adjustable bench, adjust that up a little bit. Lay your leg down, back leg's just kind of back there supporting me. And then from here, you just lean forward. And that's a great stretch against that outer hip into the buttock. You can play around, you can add some turns. You can add some squat down and go forward, you can reach. Again, first thing is just get comfortable doing this position. And then as you get better at it, start playing around with angles and you'll really find the ones that speak to you and the ones that you need the most. I would go ahead and do both sides on that one, even though the left's a little bit worse because the right one was still a touch tight. And then the last one I had was, this is probably a little bit advanced and we don't need to get too far down on this one, but I know it's a goal of yours eventually, was to do these reverse Nordics. So I know you want to start kind of all the way in that down position. You might just right now get here, and then from here you can, like say, add a little bit of a hip raise. That's going to get those hip flexors and quads going. You can just keep working on leaning down, eventually getting flat to the floor. But again, I'm not losing sleep over that one today, but if you like it, again, the strength version of this is not using your hands and just raising yourself up and down. You found that challenging there because of the quad weakness. So this one could be a nice little starting point, just working on getting yourself up off the ground. All right, so those are my rehab moves. Those I would love for you to do every day until we meet again, just to kind of make sure that we're pointing the rehab in the right direction. As far as strength moves, let's see how this goes. You mentioned box squats. Again, love holding that weight wherever you want. and then touching the bench for your box squats. I like that you're using the box to let you go, to go a little bit deeper. If we could pick for you right now, is the goal more mobility or more strength? My answer would be mobility. I think yours would be too. Although I know there's some moves where strength would probably be your main goal. So on this one, you have two options. You can hold that weight and keep bouncing that box. If you want more strength, I love turning that into an overhead. Still reaching for the bench with your butt. That's a great strengthener for everything. And it even gets some of that overhead strength in, which we're craving eventually. Or simply drop the weight, no weight or less weight, and then work on getting even lower. Because you had a pretty good squat, but I want you to get used to doing that squat kind of under tension a little bit as well. So your call, squatting, weight overhead, weight here, no weight, your call. Side lunging, we mentioned side lunging. And again, all of these, I want you to get close to failure. 2 sets maximum. That first set is kind of just get used to it. And then that second set is where you make a decision on adding weight or adding range of motion to make it a little bit harder. So side lunges, and he said these are a little tricky for you, and we have a little bit of balance issue. So I like, well, heck, if you got your bench, I would do these where you have a little something to hold on to with this bench. I would start wide, so you don't have to worry about stepping and lunging. Start really wide, and then all you're doing now, a little bit of hand support, all you're doing is pivoting. Lunge, lunge. You're working on strength, and you're getting a little stretch in the groin. Plus, I like that you're having to work on your balance just ever so slightly. So your bench is just really your safety net here. I could do it without the bench, but I have trouble going as deep. So again, because range of motion is your goal, use the bench to let yourself go a little bit deeper. Love that one. Don't be afraid to hold on to stuff. Really, it does more good than harm, I promise. And then if I was gonna add one more lower body, I know we talked about walking lunges, but I thought you had a really good split squat where your back leg gets propped up. You can do some squats from there. So again, you can hold a dumbbell here under your chin. You can hold them down here. Or what I think I like for you the best is, again, if you can have something, bring a chair out to your bring a chair to your workstation. One dumbbell, one balance. So that way you're getting the best of both worlds. You're working on your balance, but you have a fail-safe, and then you're working on strength because you got some weight in your hand. I love this move for you. It works one leg at a time, so then we can work on those right to left asymmetries, and it also works on your balance and your flexibility. So if I had one move to pick out of these three, the box squats, the side lunges, and this split squat, I would take this split squat all day long. So try to make that one happen at home. So those three good lower body exercises. Let's switch to core. We kind of when we talked about the basics today, planks, bridges. So planks, I thought you looked good. I don't care whether you do them with a straight arm or whether you go to your forearms. I don't care whether you do them on the bench or on the floor. I want you to pick a spot that is challenging but does not give you any of that back sensation. I would say, since we want to set up for success here, I would probably start on the bench. What's nice about doing these on the bench is they make life a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier than a floor plank. So it gives you a little bit more room to add some varieties, like, do I add a leg lift? That might help target some of those low back and glute muscles that haven't really been doing their job. So holding the plank while doing some lower body work. You can add in a little bit of a mountain climber kind of a feel. All right, you talk about fire hydrants, right? Boom. Plank, fire hydrant combo, who knew? So make the plank part a little bit easier, then add in some lower body flavor, if you will. For the bridges, gosh, that's where we can have a lot of fun. I like, again, I'm gonna use this bench because you got it. I like doing elevated. It lets you get a little bit more range of motion, which is, again, my top goal for you is mobility, first and foremost. You can go to single leg. That's gonna be great, again, for targeting those glutes and low back. Switching legs on that one. And you can also forego the bench and just do regular style, and that's fine by me too. We talked about also holding, you hold some weights at your hips. Now it's a weighted bridge. So play around with them all. My hope is by next time we meet, you've tried a few different varieties, and then we can start honing in on which ones you like best. So planks, elevated with lower body work, bridges, elevated or weighted or single legged. A few options there. One core that we didn't really talk about would be rotation. I like personally kind of on the bench, leaning back just a hair and just working on some dumbbell rotation. You don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need to tap it or anything like that. You're just rotating your core. After thinking about what we talked, it didn't sound like you had a lot of rotation built into your old plan. So that's something I would really want to add right away. What I love about this one is I always put this in seamlessly with, guess what, that lower body, or that lumbar strengthener we just did. So these make a great superset. Low back, right into trunk rotation. That one's great. So 4 good core options. Low back, flexion, your rotation, your planks, and your bridges. That's great. If you want to add your leg lifts for fun, it's a great addition. All right, my last phase is going to be upper body. This one needs the least amount of coaching, right? So I know you're doing chest press, dumbbells, regular old bench press, no problems there. I would play around with just angles. Try some elbows in, try some elbows wide. You can always do one arm at a time. Might help a little bit with that stretching. This really helps you get a good stretch at the bottom if you feel tight in that chest. And then what I like, again, going right into drop the weight, you go right into your pullover, go right into that one. Again, I love that you do this one, and I would keep doing this one forever and ever, because it's a great way to get overhead work with minimal risk. So presses and pullovers are great combos. You mentioned you do bent over rows. We didn't really get into basic, into details there, whether you're doing, both arms at the same time, or whether you kind of use the bench and do one at a time. I can't say I have a preference. It's based on timing and feel. So I love that. Keep doing that. I'm not going to biceps and then tricep kickbacks. Obviously, don't want to change anything there. The one that I wanted to really coach is we were doing, again, we want to get something overhead, right? We're not going to do shoulder presses because we got some junk going on in here. So what we're going to do instead is 5 pounds. We're going to do full range of motion all the way to the top and all the way down. And your goal when you do this, if you can do this with a mirror, wonderfully, because you can watch yourself from shrugging. All right, if you keep your shoulders down, no shrug, then we're doing it perfectly, and your shoulders are actually going to get stronger instead of your neck just taking over for them. But I don't want it to be that. All right, so watch that shrug. This one's a teaching tool as much as anything else, as well as getting jacked, right? So love that one. Add that one to the list. So kind of reset here. Box squats with a dumbbell. I'm just gonna run them through real quick. Box squats, either dumbbell or overhead. If you feel like you can, get away from the box and add some depth. We got split squats, where one leg is back. Again, you can use a little bit of balance if you need to there. Doing those. And then we have our side lunges. Again, where you start super wide and just work on depth. Work on depth. Good stretching here. And then core, bridges, planks, rotation, and flexion. And then you got your upper body work, piece of cake. Let me know how that goes. Again, I can structure that better, I can write that out better, but I don't really want to write it out with sets and reps and angles and all that until we know. So right now it's just kind of a trial and error. Biggest ones for me are going to be the back flexion and the piriformis stretch on the bench. So make those happen every day. We'll talk soon. Huffing and puffing. Bye.